So how do you know when to run a root cause analysis? When is it the right time to do it?
Well, the real answer is that any organization is going to have triggers, thresholds in which they're going to conduct an RCA, and they're usually based on regulatory drivers.
Okay.
So somebody had to be hurt to a recordable level. We had a certain amount of dollar loss of production. I had equipment damage in excess of 100,000, or whatever the case may be. What I would like to see happen, in my unicorn world, is that you have that RCA is, unfortunately, they really need a PR makeover, because they're associated with everything negative. And that's because I work in hospitals. It's funny because if they know what you do, you're not there for good news. So it's like people close doors when you come down the hallway because you're not there to say great job.
Yeah, it's almost like the weapon that you're talking about.
But the reality is that root cause analysis, properly applied, could be done proactively. Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate that the only reason we implement the thought process is because the trigger has already happened, so that the consequence has already occurred. As opposed to, you mentioned FMEA earlier, which is the failure modes and effects analysis, and that's a proactive tool.
Yeah. So
that's essentially a risk assessment. That's the probability times the severity of something happening equals criticality. Mm-hmm. If you did a Pareto cut of that type of analysis, you'd find that 20% or less of the failure modes account for 80% or more of the risk.
Yeah.
So there's no reason you can't do an RCA where it starts off with unacceptable risk of X.
Yeah.
Because the thought process going through the how can questioning, you're just saying how can the risk be so high?
Yeah.
So you'd be mitigating risk in that sense and preventing consequence.
Right. And I think that 80-20% rule is actually really, really important when you're figuring out, okay, what do we choose to run an RCA on?